Manmohan Singh is sworn as Prime Minister for a second consecutive term today. Along with him, 19 MPs took oath as his A team. For a quick analysis of the new cabinet, Sukumar Ranganathan, the editor of Mint, joins me. Sukumar, what are your first thoughts on this cabinet?
No surprises. No young people, no new faces. We don't even know whether the portfolios are going to be shuffled. We'll know that only after a couple of days. And it's composed entirely of people who've been there before.
No, you raised one point that there are no new young people. Shouldn't you be waiting for the second round of swearing in?
Maybe, but considering the fact that this is an A team, as you put it, it would have been nice to have a few new faces in the A team also. There is nothing that says that young people have to start off as ministers of state and then go on to cabinet positions.
Let's look at this way. Probably they want to, stretch this theme of stability and continuity.
Maybe, but I also think that they've played it pretty safe, looking at the choices they've made.
Or do you think they don't have too much of a talent pool and they have to draw from the same? Do you see any shortage of talent here?
I'm not so sure. I can think of at least 7 or 8 things that they could have done today, 7 or 8 new people whom they could have inducted today, and it could have been done. So I just think they went with a tried and tested formula. They didn't want to do anything new.
Or you'd have preferred like American model or other countries where you draw in talent from outside. Why don't we seem to do things like that?
I think that would be a little far-fetched to expect in the Indian context. The whole concept of bipartisanship, for instance, where Obama reaches out to the Republican camp and tries to pick someone from there, that kind of thing is unthinkable in India. The UPA is definitely not going to pick someone from the BJP and ask him to come and serve, and the BJP is not going to be happy about him serving. It doesn't work that way, because here the American president can do that because he's not the leader of a political party which has won a majority and then elected him. The entire system is different. It doesn't work that way here.
Also here they have to give a lot of regional representation. It's after a union of states, so they have to give to each state. And also
that's true, and that can possibly explain maybe the one surprise in today's thing, because I see CP Joshi, for instance, Rajasthan, and I don't know whether he's had any ministerial experience before this, but he was a surprise pick for me.
Yeah, Jaipal Reddy always comes from Andhra. Every cabinet he is there.
Yeah, but also to be fair to Reddy, he's always been a minister who's taken interest in whatever ministry he's looking after. And in the outgoing government, he did a lot of good work when the ceiling crisis erupted, when the Supreme Court ordered that a lot of commercial properties in residential areas had
also
to be
a good parliamentarian, perhaps that's one.
He's a good parliamentarian. He communicates well, both with the media and with his colleagues. So he is a good parliamentarian.
Do you have any choice about who should be our foreign minister? Did you look at the cabinet? Did you think there should be some person who you would prefer?
Not particularly. I think in the run-up to the results and after the results, there was a lot of noise being made about how Shashi Tharoor would be the foreign minister, and I felt that it was pretty far-fetched even then, because I think the whole concept of hiring someone on the basis of whether he looks good or speaks well doesn't really matter when it comes to the external affairs minister. I have no idea who the new external affairs minister is going to be, but our outgoing external affairs minister was Pranab Mukherjee, and I think he did a fairly good job.
Let's look at this. It's still a coalition government. Therefore, they have Mamata Banerjee and they have, also Sharad Pawar in it. And is a compulsion of coalition politics still playing out? For instance, the DMK is still negotiating.
Definitely. I think we would all be expecting too much of this government if we expected it to function as if it were a majority government and not a coalition government. It is still a coalition government. The pressures of coalition may be lesser this time than they were in the past, but it is definitely a coalition government.
Let's look at the faces whom they haven't included. For instance, they have dropped Arjun Singh. What do you read from that?
I think that's a brilliant move, because he was one parliamentarian who was universally reviled for many of the things that he did, and he'd also been sniping at the Prime Minister in a couple of instances. So I just think that he's been dropped for that reason.
That could be the reason. Okay. And what about weightage to reforms? Though we still don't have the portfolios, but can you do you read anything in it?
It doesn't look to me to be an anti-reform kind of government, because there are no strong anti-reform voices in it. You look at Kamal Nath, at heart a reformer. You look at Chidambaram, at heart a reformer. You look at Sharad Pawar, at heart a reformer, given various concerns that he has, because he is really the representative of the farm lobby, the sugar lobby. So there are certain things that he has to keep in mind. So I don't see any anti-reforms people in the 19 names that were picked today.
Thank you, Sukumar. For more news and analysis, keep logging on to www.livemint.com.